Hello everyone, Spaced Oyster here, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XII. In the last episode, we tackled some optional espers, or maybe just one. At the current time of recording, I haven't decided if I want to divide it up. Probably not going to. So anyway, we tackled some optional espers, and we obtained them both, Adramalech and Zalera. Let's see. As for what I did with Zalera, I actually gave him to Ash because it unlocked two useful skills on Black Mage, Poach and Steal. Well, okay, just one useful skill. It also unlocked Traveler for Monk, but that was kind of not really a selling point. I was also considering it for Fran, but Fran really only would have gotten Traveler out of the whole mix. Anyway, I also forgot to mention that Zalera's zodiac sign is Gemini, I think. If not, I mentioned it now, so we've definitely mentioned every Esper's zodiac sign so far, of the ones we've encountered anyway. And speaking of anyway, where does this lead? Well, the Garmscythe Waterway. Who would have thunk it? I wonder if it would have been possible to encounter Zalera in that main room by coming in through here. Anyway, I don't know if this is suicide or not, but I'm going to try and make my way back to Rabanastre, because that's our next location. And you know what? Why don't we show off a little bit? Let's go ahead and show off Adramalech for Bosch. Now, Adramalech is the optional esper I like to get to handle the, let's see, what am I trying to say? To handle the optional boss, the Bomb King, on the way into the, Necro Hall of Nabu Dis. I like to use Adramalech because unlike the other espers we've encountered, recruited before him, Belias and, I cannot think today. Unlike the other espers we obtained before Adramalech, Belias and Matius, Adramalech is completely immune to any element he isn't weak to, and he absorbs his own element. So, Adramalech is the first esper you obtain who functions that way. Zalera, I do not believe he functions that way. I think he only takes half damage from most elements and is weak to holy. I don't know if he functions as an undead when you have him summoned. I think that's probably a no. Anyway, the last two times I've summoned espers, I didn't point out how long they stay on the field. If you'll notice in the bottom right-hand corner, next to Adramalech's name, there are a bunch of circles. Each of those circles will start to fade one at a time, and when all of them have faded away, he is going to go away. Pretty basic and straightforward and all that fun stuff. I don't know exactly how long each of those things last for, but what I do know is that it totals out to 90 seconds or one and a half minutes. Anyway, I think I made a wrong turn. The Garmscythe Waterway is a little tricky to navigate. And since Adramalech is running low on time, I should probably find an enemy for him to use his limit break on before he goes away. I don't think that's really going to work out. Maybe I should just head back through the Barheim Passage. I know where we're at. This is where we first found Ash. I do not remember being able to find a way to get to the, what are they called? The Barheim Passage from here. Whatever. Well, I think we're close to an enemy I can use Judgment Bolt on. Yeah, a Dremel gets Judgment Bolt. Very, very pretty. He's also easily got one of the prettiest looking limit breaks in the game. Yeah, and you'll actually notice that unlike with the Barheim Passage, our return to the Garmscythe Waterway has been fraught with a lot of danger. These enemies are a lot tougher than when we were here the first time. That was entirely intentional. These enemies are definitely no pushovers. I'm gonna go ahead and speed things up, because despite the fact that these are all new enemies, this is still old territory, and I'd rather just get past it. If I can remember how. Oh, yeah, we're pretty much already out. Lucky me. Yeah, the first time you were in the Garmscythe Waterway, they pretty much forced you to stay on the beaten path and made it a pretty linear dungeon, but now that we're past that point, it is an open world map. It is very tough to navigate and know exactly where you need to go. And don't worry, I won't forget to show off Zalera. I'll get a chance to use him as soon as we get Ash out. For now, we're going to go up above to regular town and accept a new hunt. Now, like I've already mentioned before, the last time I did hunts, these hunts are actually ones I'm catching up on. They were made available much earlier on, and I do believe I put them off a little bit too much, but that's usually because I have so much trouble with the Barheim, with the areas these hunts are located in. Not the Barheim Passage, but the next one we'll be tackling is actually down there in the Garmscythe Waterway, and I hate having to deal with it too early on. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I should first accept the hunt. It's the White Moose. Let's see, let's go talk to the petitioner. And it's Sorbet, the Moogle who runs the Moogling over by the West Gate. Oh, sorry about that, had to readjust. Yeah, and I think to kind of ruin the illusion that Sorbet is a bit more important than the others, they gave Sorbet a name, and the rest are all Moogling attendants. Real subtle, Square Enix. Real subtle. You've come about the bill I posted? Thank you, Kupo! I'm in a sticky situation, Kupo. That wobbly white confection got the better of me. I'd prefer not to go into details until you've officially agreed to the hunt. It's all rather personal, you understand? Well, will you accept my hunt, Kupo? Now I can tell you my tale of woe, Kupo. You see, old Dallin had given me a key, a broken old thing that wasn't working. I have a brother who's quite adept at repairing such things, and old Dallin had asked that he do precisely that, Kupo. Dallin gave me a wobbly white treat by way of thanks, and, well, I decided I'd eat that before taking the key to my brother. I didn't want Hurdy or the others to find out, so I went over to the plaza in the South Sprawl to eat it, Kupo. And, well, I tripped. And how I tripped! I dropped the treat and the key both, and watched them tumble down into the Garmscythe Waterway. Desperate, I set out, determined to find the key and the treat. I'd reached the west sluice control of the Garmscythe waterway when I saw it. That wobbly white creature took the key and my treat. I'm sure of it. If you can defeat it, I'm certain we can get the key back. I'm willing to mark the treat down as lost at this point, but I must have that key, Kupo! Yep, we are hunting down the white moose. And yeah, they make her repeat all that when you go to talk to her again to teleport out. At least I think that's a her. It's tough to tell. And we're gonna head down to the Garmscythe waterway, so let's just use this exit to Lowtown here, or entrance. Exit, entrance. One way's an entrance, the other way's an exit. Doesn't really matter if I get it right or wrong. Let's see. Anyway, the white moose itself, I should probably wait to go over details until I get down there. So I'll do exactly that. Although I have actually talked a little bit about it before. Excuse me. What am I doing? I'm just gonna rush there anyway. Anyway, let's see. I forgot to go over in detail, but the white moose should be located around here in that square. If you think you're gonna have trouble with it, you can run right past it first to this save crystal here and then go back. That's usually a good, easy way to deal with it. If you're not feeling comfortable, then that's fine too. I'm gonna keep this minimap open because otherwise I'm just gonna get lost. And I'm already doing that because, yeah, they got stairs that lead down into the thingamabobs, and I don't want to go down there. Yeah, we can't control the water levels just yet, but when we do, we can basically control the water level and go down and explore the parts of the Garmscythe waterway that let us... what am I talking about? Parts of the waterway that were usually filled up with water. Alright, so this is the room it's in, and we actually have a few options for trying to tackle it. For the most part, however, I'm not going to do it. I don't think I'm going to do anything fancy with it. But you do have quite a number of options to try out if you're feeling gutsy. Or if you're not feeling gutsy, use whatever works. I'll go over a few good strategies when we get there. And we're there. Okay, so the white moose here is obviously a jelly. And most jellies, they mainly use magic. So the main thing you're going to want to do, if you like, is you're going to want to be able to make it not use magic. You have a few options for doing that. A good way to do that is to cast silence on it. However, if you prefer, you can actually cast Berserk on him. And then that'll keep him from attacking you with spells, because Berserk makes them mindlessly attack. Now, normally people use Berserk to deal buff their own party members. But when you're fighting an enemy who is mainly magical in nature, such as the white moose here, Berserk is your best friend to put on them. At this point, I have encountered a few enemies that try the Berserk strategy on your party. They're not the most intelligent about it, but they do cast Berserk on a random party member to try and keep them from, well, being useful. But you can actually see it as early as the Osmone Plains. On our way into the Garif village, Jahara, there was actually that Garif guy hunting in the plains. He would cast Berserk on the chocobos before killing them. So always keep in mind what your beneficial status conditions can do for you, not just for your party members, but for dealing with your enemies as well. Another option is you can also just hit him with silence. If you have a black mage out, they can pretty much hit him with it no problem. And if or you can cast reflect on your party to make him reflect spells back at himself. Although he is weak to fire and absorbs water, and he mainly uses Aquera. So if you use the reflect route, just know you're going to be reflecting spells back at him that are going to keep him healthy. Did I? Oh, no, I didn't. I can just go up here. You know, why don't we go down there, see if there are any worthwhile treasures. It's not like it's going to take too long like it did the last time I decided to take a detour for no apparent reason. We got an ether. And I got the weird frog thingy. And then... that's a trap. And a gold needle. And is there anything in this room? More treasure. Hornito. That is the first hand bomb you can get your hands on. I don't know exactly when you get access to this part of the Garmscythe waterway. My guess would be about the time you go to the Mossfern High Wastes, maybe sooner. Either way, if you have a foe breaker in your party, and you're using single job, doing a single job only run, or you want your foe breaker's hand bombs to be your main source of ranged offense, then coming here to pick up that hand bomb is going to be a good idea if you want to be able to deal with flying enemies easier. Anyway, let's go ahead and head on up, report our success to Sorbet, and then we'll tackle our next hunt. Let's go ahead and speed things up. I don't know why I wasn't speeding them up before, or why I didn't touch that crystal in the first place. Yeah, whatever. Oh, Sorbet. Yeah, I guess I'm a little relieved that we cannot get her white treat back. But I guess that's just the added hilarity that the enemy we hunted down was called the White Moose. Very, very hilarious. In fact, it's so hilarious, I am laughing right now. Ha 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 ha. While we're here, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up our next hunt too. I believe it's available in the Sand Sea, but if not, then I'll go to Sorbet, hand in this hunt, and then talk to Montablack for the next one. Nope, none of these. So I'm gonna have to talk to Montablack. Anyway, before we do that, let's go Westgate and talk to Sorbet. Yeah, I'm just being very redundant at this point. Hi, Sorbet. Kupo, you have the key. That means you defeated my wobbly white nemesis. Thank you ever so much, Kupo. You've saved this poor Moogle's honor. Now to get my brother to repair it. I'll be back in 2 shakes. Yeah, and we got Gil and a burning bow. I think the White Moose hunt is the earliest availability you can get on the burning bow. Sorry to keep you waiting, Kupo. My brothers repaired the key, but not before a serendipitous message arrived from old Dallin. He found another key that worked, so he doesn't need this one anymore. Sorry for wasting your time, Kupo. It wouldn't feel right keeping the key now, so I want you to have it. It's the least I can do after all you've done, Kupo. Yeah, I should make up my mind on how to say Kupo. Yeah, the sluice gate control key thingy. I forgot to read the name. It allows us to control the water in the Garmscythe waterway, which is useful for both a side quest and for an optional Esper. Spoiler alert, I suppose. Anyway, let's go to the Muthru Bazaar. And we're gonna head up north here. I remembered it was the north this time. And then let's go ahead and talk to Monteblack. How fares the hunt, Kupo? Oh, yeah, right. He's probably gonna have a lot of things. So much. Orthos! Good thing my X smashing actually helped out. Yeah, so the petitioner for this is the Contrite Thief in Lowtown, right next to the entrance to the Garmscythe waterway. Lately, there have been a number of incidents of hunters being attacked while out in the field. Take extra care, Kupo. I don't know, I kind of like adding Kupo on at the end like that, so I think I'm going to try and say Kupo like that from now on, Kupo. But then again, it doesn't have the added hilarity of, you know, being, analogous to a curse word, I think. Kind of like the way the Smurfs say Smurf all the times. Whatever. Whatever. Let's go ahead and head over to the Garmscythe waterway and talk to our thief and get the hunt. Ooh, did you see my bill? Thanks for coming, love. Just knowing someone cared enough to hear me troubles is all I needed. Farewell, cruel world. Wheeze. Oh, I should have just read that out. Only winding you're up, dear. I still got some juice left in me. Ready to get down to business? If you've seen the bill, you know I need the Orthos hunted, stuffed, and mounted. How come? Well, I'll tell ya, but only if you agreed to do the hunt, love. So, still interested? Thank you, love, though I hate to have such a fine young man as yourself see me in such a state. Well, you already know I'm a thief. There, I've said it. The shame. Well, I wouldn't be much of a thief if I didn't steal from time to time, and this time I was partaking of some of the things in Samuel's house. That Samuel's never home. He's always down in the South Sprawl talking to some kid. Why, he's practically begging to be robbed. Not being one to turn down such a clear invitation, I helped myself to some plunder. Only these kids caught me in the act. Well, you can imagine how frightened I was. A mob of kids chasing after me, shouting, "Stop, thief!" and "Grab her!" and whatnot. Snort. Much easier being chased by proper adults, I find. But where was I? Ah, of course, the Garmscythe waterway. That's the place where they chased me to. Couldn't scarcely breathe by this point, mind you. Still, somehow, I gave him the slip, but no sooner had I stopped to catch my breath than that Orthos reared its, well, head, I suppose. Not being in a condition to fight, I threw down my plunder and then ran as fast as I could. Snort. By the time I made it back up to Lowtown, the kids had gotten the grown-ups involved, and I found myself penned in tight. Well, seemed to me I'd gone from frying pan into the fire. Lucky for me, Samuel showed up just then. He's the one I'd stole from, see? A heart of gold, that one has. Said he'd let it all be as water under a bridge, if I'd just return everything what I took. Only this Orthos made off with all my plunder, and I'm in no condition to get it back from him, as you surely see. So you gotta help me. kill that Orthos and get back them things I stole, else they'll hand me over to the Imperials, and then it's Nalbina for me. Notorious Sikh by the name of Daguz is said to be there. I daren't think what he'd do to a dainty flower like myself. Don't let them send me away. That Orthos was off in the south end of the waterway, only, he's particular about who he'll attack. Lestwise, that's what Samuel said. Don't let me down. I'm begging you with all the beg I got left. So we're gonna be hunting Orthos. And yeah, I knew that was a girl right from the start. That's why I tried to give her a girly voice. I hope it worked out. I mean, I've tried not to sound girly in the past, but honestly, I think I just sound pretty kind of girly all the time, so it's tough for me to tell. Anyway, it's back down into the Garmscythe waterway. But we're going to a slightly different area this time. No need to activate the gates just yet. We're going to this part here. You'll remember that's where we fought the group of Flans before, the first time we were here. That's where we want to be. Let's see. I always have a tough time navigating around that. But yeah, if you can handle the white moose, you can handle Orthos too. So if you had no trouble with the white moose, just go ahead and grab Orthos too. Pretty much same location, same strategy too, if the Bill Flyer wasn't enough proof of that. Excuse me. Although I gotta read up, there's a few differences about Orthos that I should be aware of, but not as many as I thought there would be. Alright, so the gimmick to getting Orthos out is you need to have an all-female party. So if you have any guys in your group, drop them out, and then run around as the ladies. And let's see, magic, white magic. Let's go ahead and dispel him. And then pretty much the exact same tactic that worked on the white moose is gonna work here. Let's go ahead and cast Berserk on him. And then, in the meantime, I'll have Penelo use one of my Hastiga motes to get rid of the Sloga he just used. Oh, the Domain Calvados, that's an item. I honestly thought that was a hat. And I never really checked up on it. Anyway, you'll notice he's immune to Berserk. Never mind. Maybe Ash can actually hit him with silence, though. Think it's worth a shot? Let's give it a shot. And since he's weak to fire, why not let Penelo whip out her Wormfire shot? I'm fine with letting the... Oh no, he's immune to silence, too. Anyway, I am perfectly fine with letting the ladies tackle it, since hunts only restore or only reward license points, so I don't really need to worry about that. Oh, hey, he's dead. Yay! And we got the stolen stuff for our thief upstairs. Alright, and then, let's see. You'll notice there that Fran did use a high potion and Penelo cast Kira. That's the AI being actually good at work. Believe it or not. Since Penelo knew that the high potion that Fran was going to use wasn't going to restore all of Ash's HP, or more than 50%, she continued to cast Kira, or started to cast Kira, and then used it, because she knew that we wouldn't be able to get Ash all the way up or above the threshold that I usually go for with the Gambit setup. Hey, cool, everyone's gaining levels. Bosch is probably a little bit ahead thanks to summoning Adramalech earlier, but that is a-okay. Yeah, just a little bit, though. Anyway, I'll go ahead and turn this hunt in, and then I'll call that an episode. Let me actually do that first before spoiling things. I'm a little out of it today. Let's see. Easy to turn in, though. She's right here. Thank you. You said you'd get him, and you have done. Oh, hello there, Samuel. Well, I see you've recovered my things. You're lucky you found someone willing to help you. You can't hope to get by in life stealing and pilfering from others. We help each other. We help each other, or the whole thing falls apart. Off with you now. Hopefully you've learned something from all of this, and it won't go so well for you if we catch you stealing again. Thank you. Thank all of you. I've learned my lessons, so I have. I know I'll probably never see you again, but if you ever see a lonely Sikh on a street corner, no, I have to keep my dreams where they belong. You and me, it will never work out. Sigh. Forget I said anything. This is for helping me out. It ain't much, but it ain't stolen neither. See ya. Ooh. Neat stuff. You should be commended hunting a creature for the sake of a scoundrel like that Sikh. I don't care how large the bounty is. It's a rare soul who has the courage to risk his own life to help another. Speaking of which, I think you ought to have this. It's a blackened fragment of some sort of medallion. It was given to me by a man who said I should pass it on to someone who'd shown great courage. I doubt he could object to me giving it to you. He was quite a character, I can tell you. Spent most of his life as a sky pirate. He'd just decided to mend his ways when the war broke out. He had planned to start a new life in Nabudis, his home as a boy, but his dream died with the city. He came here a broken man and died not long ago. As a sky pirate myself once, I'd rather not too many people knew, though. Some choice of profession, wouldn't you say? Anyway, through a course of events I won't bore you with now, I saved this man's life. And that's why he entrusted me with part of this medallion. He never told me what it was for or what it did, but I got the impression it was important. Now I want you to have it. It belongs with you. Alright, and I'll call that an episode for now. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Spaced Oyster, signing out.